In this bulletin with development coming from the ongoing local government commission of inquiry, because as the investigations into the alleged financial irregularities at the Banjul City Council continues, the coordinator of the 3.1 million of the EU-backed Banjul-Ostend project, Peter Volz-Lambroch, has appeared before the local commission or local government commission of inquiry to address concerns of expenditure control, procedure or procurement compliance, and questionable loans issues from the project funds. Our reporter Mamadi Barrow tells us more of that in this report.
The local government commission of inquiry resumed on Tuesday with testimony from Peter Volz-Lambroch, who served as project coordinator for the Banjul-Ostend City Link project, with a $3.1 million initiative co-financed by the European Union and the city of Ostend in Belgium. Appearing for the first time, Volz-Lambroch traced the project's evolution, noting that it began with a concept note submitted to the EU late in 2018. It was followed by stakeholders consultations held in Banjul in 2019. The grant was approved in June of last year, and the project officially commenced in March 2020. Volz-Lambroch outlined the project's 5-year primary components: capacity building for BCC staff, improved waste management systems, urban greening and purification, including multiple sub-projects, the rehabilitation of the former Crab Island Basic School, and a public health element.
So the city of Ostend should have contributed 150,000 euro, and the Banjul City Council 7,805 euro. But the City Council of Ostend contributed much more than the 150,000 in the end, because the project was actually extended for 2 more years. So it was a non-cost extension, so it means the European Commission would not add anything more there. So anything more that should be added was added thanks to the Ostend City Council.
Do you know exactly how much was added, roughly?
Roughly, no. I should check my figures to give you, because roughly is a bit difficult. Eh?
Okay, we will
at least 100,000 more, but I cannot. I should check my figures to give you a correct figure for that.
How about Banjul City Council? Did they contribute their own financial?
Sorry, Peter, you can note that and you can provide us with.
Yes, of course. I can give you a financial report. That's
yes.
Not a problem. Eh?
Yes, please note that so that you can provide us with the financial report.
No problem.
Thank you.
He told the commission that the project initially operated through an account at Basic Bank, but was later moved to EcoBank, citing better exchange rates between the euro and the dollar. He confirmed that both accounts were held under the name and control of the Banjul City Council. When asked whether BCC needed prior approval from the Ostend site for expenditure, Volz-Lambroch stated that initially there was no such requirement. However, this changed over time following disagreements on spending priorities between the two cities.
Is to make, in the project, if they are to make withdrawals from the accounts, do they require any form of approval from either you or anyone at the Ostend link?
The beginning of the project, it was not like that.
There were?
It was not like that. They didn't need approval, but after some time, then we agreed that approval was to be given. And then my colleague Jonas Scherens, he was the project coordinator. He was the one who gave approval for payments.
Why did you need approval afterwards, when in the beginning there was no need to have the approval?
Because we did not always agree on the way how some expenditure was made.
Can you give examples?
There was an example, for example, there was a crisis with some, in Tobacco Road in Banjul, with some flood victims. And there was a decision made within BCC to support these victims. For us, it was not really part of the EU project, so for us it was a bit difficult to allocate these funds in that direction. Of course, we can always file them under indirect costs, but actually that was not the original spirit of the project. With all respect for these victims of the floods, of course, So then afterwards we decided that it's good that we also have a stake in a very formal approval, which was then organized, and it was my colleague Jonas who was giving that approval.
Lead Counsel Patrick Gomez queried whether the project was subject to procurement rules. Vaslambrug responded affirmatively, saying he believed procurement guidelines had been adhered to, but did not specify whether the EU's procurement standards or the Gambia's were followed. On the continuous issues of steering committee members allegedly issuing themselves loans from project funds, Vaslambrug said he was unaware of the transactions at the time they occurred. He later learned about them through a colleague. He stressed that such loans were not allowed under EU regulations and were outside the scope of permissible financial activities for the project. In response, the Commission requested that Vaslambrug submit the project's official audit report for review, as it seeks to ascertain whether the financial controls and procedures met international standards and the terms of the EU grant. The inquiry into the Banjul-Ostend project forms part of a broader investigation into governance and accountability at the Banjul City Council. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mamadi.